is up, everybody? Welcome in. It's Wednesday. You know what time it is. Lineman Life Live here with our panel. JB, Justin Blaylock, you're in
Yes,
5 points vids. We are in the house. Well, plenty to talk about when it comes to football and how it's just completely kind of finding itself in a weird space. We're going to do that today. We're going to talk about a couple of stories that obviously are on people's minds. But do us a favor, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If this is your first time on the live stream, hit that bell notification as well so you can get notified when we drop new content. But week 6 in the NFL, we'll be doing our predictions as usual. See how we made out from last week, because I already know, a couple of the games that I had earmarked, they didn't go the way I thought they would.
I did all right.
So we'll check in on that.
But
I did over 500, but it didn't come out the way I thought it would.
Well, we need to talk about a certain team of yours eventually, but
Yeah, that was all.
what happened?
Dude, I do not know. That's what I text. That's what I sent on Twitter when I watched the game. I was just like, what the fuck is this? What is this? What are y'all doing? But we'll get into that. Once we go into the segment of the show where we do our predictions. But let's start off with the most recent happenings in the NFL. Devonte Adams, wanted man. He's a wanted man. Raiders, and this comes from Adam Schefter, official Raiders wide receiver Devonte Adams was charged this morning in the municipal court of Kansas City with misdemeanor assault.
I mean,
that's probably a small fine, but it's setting up the civil suit.
yes.
He's
like,
trying to secure
the dude was charged with assault. Like, that's going to be in court. Your Honor, the defendant was charged with assault.
So, well, it was petty, and he,
dude,
$500 fine. Like, yes.
He did do that cameraman dirty, though.
Hey, hold on, though. Did you see the second
You're not
angle?
supposed to be there.
Yeah, I did see an angle. Like, the dude was kind of running towards him. And
the dude kind of did run right in front of him out of nowhere.
I don't think either of them really saw each other, because the cameraman was trying to focus on going one way. Devonte was seeing the other way. Devonte was going through emotions. So it's
and Devonte,
I'm not going to really shit on Devonte for that, because once again, he's dealing with emotions. It's a really hard fought game. He had a catch that he thought he had that wasn't called.
And then he ran into Hunter Renfrow.
Yep. Well, actually, Renfrow ran into him.
Well, yeah. Still.
So someone's got
to yield.
Yeah.
Thinking about being in that moment as a player, I've been in that moment. I know Justin. I know you've been in that moment too, where you're just kind of like you lose a big game, you lose a close game, right? You're walking off the field. You're walking, but you're not really seeing what's in front of you because you're kind of in a daze.
It's confusing.
You're kind of in that immediate, emotional reaction to the game. Your body's on autopilot as far as you moving, but you're thinking in your head the whole time. So you're not really seeing immediately in front of you. And I can see where that guy walks right in front of him. And now, maybe, I don't know. I can't say whether my reaction would have been to push the guy or not, but you definitely would have been like caught off guard a little bit. Like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, and
right.
Then you might get mad and be like, get the fuck out my way. God damn.
I might have ran him over. Just, accidentally.
Or you might have ran him over.
Yeah, but
that just walked right over.
That's definitely something.
That area is usually roped off. Or has guards in that area so people don't run across, as people are exiting the field.
It's supposed to be cleared, right?
Yeah, you're not supposed to be there.
I think he's NFL personnel, so NFL or ESPN.
That's going to be the defense's argument, though.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why he was allowed to cross it.
I think the question will be, why did you cross right in front of him, though?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
why
like
did you just go behind him?
When these people hop in a tiger cage at the zoo. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
So why did you think it was okay to go over the railing?
You got Harambe killed.
A bunch of animals, but people are crossing here at a high rate of speed with lots of pads on. Maybe I don't get in their way.
Man, I mean, I don't. I mean, I guess. Look, it's a sucky situation for the mere inconvenience it's going to cause for Devonte Adams.
Yeah. Just have to show
because
up
the
in
bigger
Kansas
problem
City.
is, you have to go back to Kansas City for court, and it'll be on a weekday, so you'll have to miss a practice more than likely, or unless it's a Tuesday where you'll be off.
Oh, they'll push that.
They'll push it for the offseason. They'll be
they'll push it all the way to like
that.
August.
But at the end of the day, that's not the biggest worry, though. The biggest worry
he's about to drop a sports car on this cat.
Civil suit.
He's about to drop a sports car.
That's why I don't blame the cameraman for trying to secure a bag. Like, let's be real. If we were in that dude's situation, we'd be feigning so many injuries. We would be like, I'd be claiming mental trauma. I would be saying like, this dude, like, it's like this dude raped me. Like it was a violation.
Right. This was my 9/11.
I would do like everything. Yes, exactly. That's what I'd be doing. I mean, we'd all be doing it because
January 6th and 9/11.
Him and Alvin Kamara, they're about to,
guess what? You're paying for my house, bitch.
Somehow they usually end up settling for like a couple jerseys.
Yeah. No, they settle out of court.
That.
6 figures. Yeah. 6 figures will do it.
I'll settle for exactly. I'll settle for 6 figures out of court with no problem. But I'm not even a fan of your team. I don't want no fucking jerseys.
If I'm his attorney, I'm like 50,000 because if say he sues him, right? Like he's got to, in order to get money, you got to prove medical bills. You got to pain and suffering, how much work that you lost. I think he can get out of it for like 35, 50 grand.
Yeah, and which would still, that's still a win. That's still a W.
That's a great payday.
You know what I mean?
Right. For getting shoved.
On the house.
For getting shoved? One of y'all shoved me.
Shoved? Man, that bitch knew he wasn't hurt. He knew he wasn't
hurt. Dude. Shit. I mean, I feel like all of us could use $35,000 to $50,000 right now. So I'm never gonna deny an extra $50K.
Hell no.
Far be it from me to turn down free money.
For real.
Brett Favre was like $5 million for a volleyball court. I don't care where it comes from.
How many shoves is that, Brett?
I think even Jeff Bezos would take $50,000 if it was
100 shoves.
Like, hey Jeff, I know you're worth like $100 billion. You want $50K? I'll be like, okay.
Well, fuck it. Okay,
dude,
let's launch to him. Come on.
If you don't think money means something, go up to a stranger and ask them for $20. They could be a billionaire.
Hey, bro, you got 20?
Right.
I'm giving
you.
They
They
would
would be like, "Fuck you."
I
remember one time my boss. I was arguing with my boss, and he was like, "Oh, it's only $170." Like, I was like, "Give me $170 right now," and he was like,
"He's like, hell no."
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, now you see what I'm talking about, right?" Oh, now
that's wild. Sean Croissant for $199 says they treating Devonte like he's Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara. What Alvin Kamara did was motherfucking. That was some asshole shit right there.
And the sad part is Devonte will have to pay more than Alvin Kamara has.
Yeah,
like his trial keeps getting pushed back.
Alvin Kamara, right? That trial gonna disappear. All of a sudden, it's not gonna be. They're
gonna settle out of court for like say $40,000.
What did he do exactly?
Assault. He beat the shit out of a dude.
Yeah,
that's right. It was like a mistaken identity
the night before the Pro Bowl game.
Yeah,
he went to jail. He went from the Pro Bowl game to jail.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Devonte.
Yeah,
Adams.
that dude about to get paid for real.
He's definitely gonna have to write a check. I think we all know that's probably what's coming up. So, but moving on from him to somebody who, when we talk about people, trying to get their money. Hey, we all know the welfare king is going to get his money. Brett Favre has finally come out. He's come out and he has spoken about his situation that we all know, the welfare scandal out of Mississippi, him and the former governor of the state working together to get him,
his daughter,
all in all, about $8 million total for building a volleyball facility for Southern Miss?
Yeah, basically his daughter.
Southern Miss for his daughter.
Did she graduated by the time this was done?
She was already gone. Yeah, she was already gone. Like,
he wasn't even doing it
there no more
for anything. He was just stealing money for the
He's
heck
just doing
of
it for clout now.
Yeah,
it's probably a gift, like for the school. Like, thank you for giving my daughter a scholarship. Here's a
boom. Right now,
here's the
on
money
top
that
of
was
that,
probably going to end up in your pocket anyways.
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. On top of that, as this thing is unfolded, we begin to see the real Brett Favre in this situation. I mean, we all know Brett Favre's kind of a scumbag to begin with. People who have kept up with his career, you've seen some of his antics. He's not considered a great person. But even further with this situation, it went from, $1.1 million for speaking arrangements that he didn't do. It went from that to $5 million for volleyball facility that he took from all this money's coming from welfare funds. And not only that, but his 501c3, his nonprofit organization itself, which mission is to provide for the underserved, mentally disabled, and I guess children with cancer or something like that. He took money from his own nonprofit and donated it to his school. About $130,000 on top of that. And then they say he was trying to secure money for a new football facility. This dude was trying to completely rebuild University of Southern Miss's recruiting platform with welfare money from the people of the state. There was federal money given to the state for people who actually need it. And on top of all of this, if you look at the amount of money that's given out yearly by Mississippi for people who are in welfare, who need the funds from welfare, they only approve 10% of the people who apply. 10%. So it's a clear racket that they're running. They got a slush fund of money. Multiple people have already pleaded guilty to this. But now, after we've seen that we've heard about everybody talking about this in this case, except for Brett Favre. And now Brett Favre has come out and actually made a statement. Who did he make it to? Fox News. But
didn't he hired one of Trump's former attorneys, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he hired. I mean, come on, bro. First off, I wouldn't hire any attorney that's working for Trump. You see how his attorneys are hiring their own attorneys after they deal with this motherfucker. They're like, I need an attorney because now I'm getting investigated for sale.
Money talks, baby. Money talks.
So now we got a video here. Shannon Sharp, undisputed. Shannon Sharp has been very outspoken about this situation in particular because this is a guy who played in the same era as Brett Favre. This is a guy who has a wealth of knowledge about how Brett Favre is perceived by his peers, back then, and how there is kind of this this kind of rehabilitation.
They messed up in the Super Bowl, did they not?
Yeah, they did. They played against each other.
That was the first one they beat.
They beat Green Bay. Yeah. But we're going to take a look at this video, at least parts of it. It's about 7 minutes long. I don't know that we'll get through the whole 7 minutes, but if it gets interesting, I haven't seen this, so I don't know exactly where he's going to go. This is from today. So let's see what Shannon Sharp has to say, because now that Brett Favre has come out and actually said something, we can kind of gauge it. We can gauge whether or not in the court of public opinion we give a shit or believe him. I don't, but let's listen in.
Favre's mouth. He's a proven liar, and he's lying again. And you see what they do, Skip? The moment they get caught, the first thing they blame the media.
I've been smeared by the media.
Really? It was you that says, this is Brett Favre text to Nancy New.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to pay me there, if you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where this came from and how much? Why you care? If the media found out, if everything's on the up and up, what you did.
By the way, Nancy New
pled guilty.
She pled guilty, but she was running the nonprofit that handled these funds.
These federal funds that were meant for the state's sports.
They're called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families funds. Needy families?
Yeah, which Brett Favre is not a needy family.
We don't know that man's life. He could have spent all that
This is like the only time that Skip and Shannon like agree on shit.
Yeah.
Is
I mean,
fucking Brett Favre being a piece of shit.
I think everybody agrees on that now.
I mean, Brett could technically spin it.
Harry, I was like, oh, this is a cool dude.
I think it's pretty fucking hard to. It's pretty hard to turn a blind eye to the fact that this cat made $100 million in his career. I mean, he gotta have. I mean, does he? I mean, hey, does he have 20 million liquid? Maybe not. We don't know. But if you got more than $1 million liquid, you straight, bro. Like what are you doing?
I mean, if you have a savings account, you're richer than 99% of the world.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I mean, how you get to that point, that much wealth, and not know how to structure your assets, though?
I mean,
you know
sometimes you get greedy.
Sometimes you get greedy. That's why it's hard to believe that he's not. That it's not that he don't got the money. He has the money. It's the greed that came into play here. It's the connections that he had with politicians, where he decided he wanted to get in on their game. This is what they do.
Yeah, why spend my money when I can spend someone else's?
Exactly. And that's what he's doing right here.
Ultimate grift.
And it's crazy because you know the irony of this is that these motherfuckers, and I don't mean to. This is no disrespect to anybody who has different political view than me. I'm just saying we all see it on both sides. These motherfuckers act like they don't want the government to be involved in their business and this and that, but they go to the federal government's piggy bank and raid their piggy bank when they want to. But they talk about we want small government, but the government gives you funds to handle where people who need it, and you say, fuck those people. I'm going to take all this money the government brought me, and I'm going to use it on what I want to use it on. So it's just the hypocrisy of it that continue, like it never ceases to blow my mind because it's like, yo, how can you say this on one hand, but your actions dictate that this is what you really believe?
If the
and that's what we see.
There'd be no one for him to steal from.
Oh, everybody's greedy. That's the,
you know what I mean?
That everybody.
And that's the politician's game, right? And now he decided I'm going to go into their world as an athlete. I'm going to cross that bridge and be a part of that world where they get free money. And so you're a welfare king then. You don't want people to get money if they need it, but you want to take it if it's there. Yeah. And you don't even need
practice.
It's reverse Robin Hood, man.
Ain't even that. I mean, corporate welfare, look at how much they use public money to build stadiums.
Yeah. Like people talk about Elon Musk being this genius. And I'm like, you realize Elon Musk is funded by the government. All the money he gets is from the government.
SpaceX.
Subsidies.
He's been subsidized by the government. So he doesn't have to spend his money on nothing. That's why when they called his bluff on Twitter, he got mad. Because they're like, no, now you have to buy it, bitch. And because you can't just sit here in front like you're this, holier than thou genius. But when the rubber hits the road, you ain't even got the money to pay for Twitter. You know that.
Manipulating markets at this point.
They get to do this shit for free, and they get mad when the government says, you know what, stop. Then they're like, oh, why is government all of my shit? Why are they censoring me? Motherfucker, because you're ruining shit. That's why.
Why are they stopping me from stealing this money?
Why are they stopping me from stealing?
I don't like
it.
Loot and pillage at will.
We're rich. What's the problem? We're rich. We can do this, right?
Do you not see that I'm rich? It's me.
It's me. Remember good buddies.
You had dinner at my house last week.
Remember?
You screwed those strippers in the back. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's like, and then and I'm ranting a little bit here, but shit, you looking like Kanye West. Kanye even now, he's the motherfucking. I mean, this dude, I can't even motherfucking. I mean, if I say what I want to say about him,
man, Kanye's always demonetized. He's always been a mess.
That dude is weird.
It's just
Kanye's
weird. Some kind of project coming out, so he has to make waves.
You know what I mean? Now he's a billionaire. Now he want to talk crazy, but 5 years ago, he was begging. What's his name? Zuckerberg for $50 million because he's in debt $60 million. You know what I mean? He goes and marries Kim Kardashian. Boom. Now all of a sudden you're a billionaire. Now you want to have now you got all the answers. You got all the answers, yay. You know what I mean? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You ain't no smarter than nobody else out here trying to figure this shit out.
I mean, they say, what shall it profit the man to gain the whole world?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he out here looking crazier every day.
I railed off a little bit there.
It's all related.
Yeah.
It's worth $100 million.
In other words, he was reverse Robin Hood. Robin Hood robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. He robbed from the poor to give to the richest.
He was robbing Hood.
Yeah, Skip. Robbing
He was robbing.
Skip. And he's like, and he tried to coin. I tried to get this wellness center. Bro, it was not a wellness center. You tried to get a volleyball arena built for your alma mater where your daughter was playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you tried to do. Because if it was for the state of Mississippi, you mean to tell me I could go down there and use it? So
They tried to claim you could.
No, you couldn't stop it. You know damn well.
Hey, real shit. And that's the thing. That's what kills me is that they go to these obvious like falsehoods and act like they're real possibilities. You know what I mean? It's like, bruh, you telling me that poor people could have walked up University of Southern Miss and just stay and use that address for that volleyball court as their residence where they staying at, as underserved people, and this great facility was built for them to be able to have access to it. Hell no. There would be a security guard waiting for that first motherfucker who showed up acting like they was, going to use that facility.
Sir, you can't be here.
Rolled out.
Right. He's getting the Devonte Adams shove.
And you know what I mean?
Come off my property.
University cops coming in there beating their ass up and taking them out of there. That's what the fuck would have happened. So that's why it's like, yo, why would you say that? Why would you take us to be so stupid as to believe that that's what you actually built that for? Like, stop it.
Like, I can't go down there and use nothing from UCLA, USC, or Pepperdine, or anybody else. Stop that, Brett.
No.
And you think people are dumb. And I'm not even talking about your cancer foundation that was meant for that people was giving you money for kids with cancer, that you was taking that and donating it to your alma mater. Skip, he wanted to seem philanthropic without being philanthropic. So, but in other words, he wanted to be philanthropic, but I ain't using my money. I'm going to use the state's money. Money that was meant for the state's poorest, the neediest. And this man don't give a damn about it. He don't give a damn if families can't feed their family. They need this money. Man, but I got an arena. The Brett Favre and his wife foundation, they built this arena. No, they didn't.
Remember, this is Mississippi we're talking about.
Yes!
The poorest state in the union with the poorest people.
And he one of the wealthiest people in Mississippi.
Well, he has to be.
He's taken from the poorest in order to give a university that probably gets federal dollars just so he can. Man, you see what Brett Favre did? Brett and Dina, man, they built this arena. Because, stop.
All right, let me just say real quick. That motherfucker, Shannon Sharp, he's jacked still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
This dude's bicep is about to tear the damn sleeve.
Dude, he looks incredible.
Yeah.
For what is it, 55 in his 50s?
Yeah, he got the mid-50s. But
Mid-
they
50s,
saying,
Don't beat my ass.
that whole crew was on some shit.
Hey,
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know about him though. I think he was straight up.
Nah, he
because-
he took
think so?
supplements.
Because they were on the team with Romanowski, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Romanowski had that whole squad juiced up.
And he always said, I'm on the shit that's going to be illegal next year.
Yeah. Romanowski had a tackle box full of drugs. Like he had a literal tackle box that he would put on like a table and be like, these are all my supplements.
We had, I think, if I remember correctly, I think we had him as he was an assistant in Jacksonville for maybe, was it Jacksonville? I can't remember. No, I think we had Bill Bates. That's who we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
For like a year. He was an assistant or something. But hey, man, that motherfucker's brain was fucking slushy. I mean, I was like, yeah, he's CTE to the brim all the way.
Oh,
but
he was leading with the
all the
crown
way.
every tackle.
Hey, he is the Hall of Fame wedge buster. Like there's no one who ever busted a wedge like Bill Bates did. He bust the shit out that wedge.
Reckless
Concussed and
abandon.
all.
Yeah.
For you,
But, I
for
mean,
him, didn't care about anybody
yeah.
out there.
But
Can you imagine
Shannon,
that's your only
freaking
job is to be a wedge buster in football?
Bro,
you
that's
just
like being
getting
a-
slaughtered.
Well, that would be the equivalent of being like a what do they call in the military? They call them bullet catchers.
Yeah.
That was before they outlawed the 3-man wedge too. So you're out there just
yeah,
taking on,
that was when
Yeah.
it was like 3 and 5-man wedge.
So
Like,
yeah, sometimes
I
a
mean,
5-man
you
wedge.
take on like
That's insane.
7,000 pounds of beef. Just
bruh, I was my rookie year was the
YOLO.
last year of the wedge, and dude, I watched the motherfucker get his lung collapse right next to me. He just
Yeah,
disappeared. I was
God.
like, I was like, oh shit.
Oh wow.
You're like, we gotta ban this shit. Can we ban this shit?
My first preseason game. First preseason game my rookie year in Miami. Swear to God, dude. I'm on the wedge and I'm like standing there and I'm looking before the kickoff and I'm counting to the guy I gotta be responsible for when we do the wedge. And this dude had on the Thurman Thomas face mask, 5'7", white dude, no neck. I could see the fucking veins on his fucking on his fucking biceps. I could see the veins from 30 yards. I was like, holy shit.
This dude does not care about life.
He was sweating. I was like, oh my God, if I have to block this motherfucker, I'm like, I don't know. So when the ball got kicked, this dude is literally fist closed, just and I'm like, oh, I'm on the wedge, like, all right, he goes right over, puts his head right through our fucking other old lineman's chest, collapses lung. I was like, Jesus Christ, get me out of here. I can't do this.
My man went Leroy Jenkins.
No, I was like, oh no, I can't do this shit.
He's straight up narrow towing through the line.
I'm hoping that they're gonna show the statement that he made here, but let's go through a couple more.
Was he speaking or did he give an interview?
It was just let me take a look. I'll check while we're listening to this. I think it was just a statement that they read out loud.
Okay.
So it's $5 million. Why, if you're worth $100 million, why couldn't you just say, I will give you a pledge of $5 million? Right. You can write it off.
But see what they do, and if I read this correctly, you got to give them all the money at once. You got to, here's $5 million. Yeah. It's not a situation where, okay, we start the building. No, ain't no starting no building. Go ahead and give it to us right now. Skip, he wanted to present himself as one way. Man, I'm so philanthropic. All the while, he was taking the money from the state's poorest and donating it to the university.
I'm not sure you're going to be seeing Brett Favre in any Wrangler commercials anytime soon after this.
I get a couple. They let it.
I don't know.
Skip, I'm telling you, you give it a couple. Give it those elbow sleeves and knee sleeves. They still standing with him. He be wearing Wrangler jeans before you know it.
But to me, Brett Favre's John Madden Memorial Superstar cachet is running very low right now.
Skip, but he's been this. Brett, people make it seem like, all of a sudden Brett, once he retired, Brett has always been this sleazy. He's always been a slime. But we just overlooked it because everybody liked him. John Madden spoke so glowingly about him. The NFL presented him in such a way that everybody loved him. But he's been this.
Why was he able to be acquired by the Green Bay Packers for a second-round pick? Do you remember?
Yeah, he spent more time in Buckhead than I did.
That is correct.
He said
nothing that he's ever done when they missed
he was a Falcon.
He
was a Falcon early on.
Yeah, he got traded.
Yeah, he was
he was partying
guy
down
here.
there. He was trouble.
And he was having some problems with the sauce. And they shipped him up to,
For those of you who don't know, in Atlanta has a community called Buckhead. See, Atlanta is in Fulton County. Atlanta is not like a big city as far as geographically, but Atlanta is, people consider anywhere from Fulton County to Gwinnett, in a circle, 285, that circle 285 that goes around the whole thing. That's all considered Atlanta by most people. Atlanta Metro, the Atlanta area. You know what I mean? But the actual Atlanta is only one small part in the middle. That's Atlanta. And it's complicated. But Buckhead is like the entryway to the uptown Atlanta, kind of. That's their party scene. That's where they party at. And if he's out there in Buckhead, it's nothing but bars and bars and bars and bars, like strips of bars. So he was out there getting sauced up. I didn't even remember that he got drafted by Atlanta.
Yeah.
They said, get this motherfucker up out of here. He a real Mississippi boy.
This was the old pre-Ray Lewis Buckhead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was that was Club 112. Velvet, all those different spots. Yeah, I remember hearing stories about all those spots. But let's. I think we've heard pretty much essentially what we need to hear from old Unc Shannon here. But we do have the statement from Brett Favre, which I will read. He says, I have been unjustly smeared in the media. Favre said in a statement provided exclusively to Fox News Digital. See, so here's the thing. Why don't you send that to all the media outlets? Why you only send it to Fox? That's the thing, because nobody else is gonna buy that shit. Because they're the only ones that are gonna put that out there and be like, well, this is what he said.
Yeah, they probably don't.
They'll still run it if there's clips.
Yeah.
If there's clicks to be had, they'll still run that shit. But he wanted to give his his friends first crack.
Yeah, first crack at it, first exclusive breaking. Like it was gonna be like something that people were gonna be, oh Fox, good job. No, I have done nothing wrong, and it is past time to set the record straight. See, those are when people say things like that. I always have red flags go off in my head. When they say I'm being smeared, red flags. Because what is smearing? Other than putting out there something that you have not you haven't even addressed it publicly, and it's been out there for 2 years. 2 years, and you ain't said nothing.
Yeah.
So how is it now smeared? 2 years later, you've been smeared. Why weren't you smeared the week after it came out on the news? You know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy shit. And when they say set the record straight, come on, man. Look, this is something that I think, again, and I've said this before, people need to understand something. Your truth does not mean it's the truth. Your truth just means that's what you believe. What you believe is not guaranteed to be what the actual fact is. And I always come back to this. Ain't nobody giving me $1 million and I'm not asking where the fuck this money come from.
Right.
Preach. Nobody's
doing that. I mean, if it's my paragraph 5, I know where that's coming from. But ain't nobody gonna just hand me $1 million and I'm not gonna say, hey, where you get this million? Where's this from?
Right.
We gonna do business? You're not gonna tell me where? No, I'm not gonna be like, $1 million, appreciate it.
Better start
no
asking
problems
questions.
here.
I mean, we saw No Country for Old Men. You can't just pick up no money.
For real.
Right.
Hey, you can't just pick up no money and not expect somebody's gonna be looking for that.
Someone's always looking for money.
You know what I mean? But he goes on here. He says, no one ever told me, and I did not know that funds designated for welfare recipients were going to the university or me, which that sentence doesn't really even like. It just
does he not have access to Grammarly?
Like that's what I'm saying. It sounds like a word salad. Like, bro, what is this? He says, I tried to help my alma mater, USM, a public Mississippi State University, raise funds for a wellness center. My goal was and always will be to improve the athletic facilities at my university. So you literally contradicted what you just said.
Is it a wellness center or an athletic facility?
Because a wellness center is not an athletic facility. And an athletic facility is not a wellness center.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck does this statement even mean? And I'll put it up here. Let me put it up here. I probably should put it up for you guys. Let me put it up so y'all see. I mean, it's just basic shit here, right? But again, what is this? What is he talking about? This don't make no damn sense. So, he falls back on the typical buzzwords and, I'm being smeared and this and that. Who believes this guy is being smeared? If you know all the information of this case, if you know that they had an actual investigator that the state appointed to actually look into this, who uncovered all this information, and he was fired.
Yeah, this isn't like TMZ releasing these documents.
You know what I mean?
These are from
this guy was,
investigations and findings.
He was fired because he found out, and he wanted to put them under oath to answer to this.
He fucked around.
He fucked around.
He found out.
He fucked around and he found out real quick. This shit ain't going down like
I guess the real question is like, how much deniability does he have? Because like they're gonna have to prove legally that he knew.
But here's the thing, though, and this is the question that I present to the panel and to the audience. You don't have to, isn't it true that you don't have to know you're committing a crime to still commit that crime and be charged? You don't have to know. It's a
gray area. It's about intent. It's about intent, right?
About intent.
And then proving that intent. I mean, he could have. Well, there's so many people that have done crimes where they knew exactly what they were doing and still got away with that shit because there was no paper trail. That's why he's coming out and denying, because he probably believes that there's no paper on him, even those
But they
text
have his
messages.
text messages. The text messages are indicating his intent or his knowing. This
Right.
On
but
the
it doesn't. It's not concrete. It doesn't say, "Hey, transfer that money from the welfare to the wellness center." Like it doesn't.
You don't have
like,
to, but
you
got to
be.
The law doesn't require that you have to say that to be found guilty. It just has to require that that there is a confidence within a reasonable doubt that you knew, because
and that's going to be hard to prove.
Found out.
Yeah, it just depends on
hard to prove
what the charge actually is.
Fucking stupid, right? Unless he's man, you've heard defense trial. Like motherfucking defense lawyer will defend Jeffrey fucking Dahmer, right?
Of course,
like,
if he's getting paid.
Like, who is it?
But look, is it successful in the end though? Because think about this.
They'll come up with a
Brett
story.
Favre, you have text messages of him not only asking about whether the media can find out about the money and the funds and where it comes from, but also you have the former governor responding to a text after he denied Brett Favre for this request, saying, "Look, I'm too old to go to federal prison. You can't take this money." And he still went after it. And then after being persistent, the governor buckled and let him have access to it, and set him up to have access to it. So right there's the intent. He was told that it was illegal because that money is tightly controlled and you cannot use it for inappropriate matters. And brick and mortar things are one of the things that are specified.
Right.
You cannot use this money for brick and mortar operations, period.
I mean,
and that's what they did.
A rational person would draw that conclusion. Yes. But we're talking about a judge that probably went to school in Mississippi.
Probably got a Brett Favre jersey signed, hanging up in his fucking. See, that's the shit, man. That's why. Look, the system is not perfect, but the system is a lot of times its folly comes from the fact that you have people who are greedy and corrupt, and it don't matter whether they're a judge, prosecutor, defending lawyer, or anything in between, police officers, all that. Everybody wants to have their power over somebody who doesn't have as much as them. And that's where this always boils down to. People who don't got the money to fight that get fucked.
Yeah. Every time. Damn governor's like, hey, are you texting me on your real phone, motherfucker?
For real. I'm sure the governor was like, is this motherfucker really like? He's like, look, I hope that I never have to answer questions about these text messages.
Brett, call me on the red phone right now. Outside line.
But here's some comparisons. And this is why I say the system is set up. And it's set up initially. There is some semblance of justice that the system is supposed to find, but money and greed, changes what is considered to be corrupt based on how much you have. And here's a tweet from Bishop Talbert Swan, and he talks about these multiple different cases where women of color are getting thrown in jail for multiple years for things like this. Tanya McDowell, 12 years for using the wrong address to send her son to a better school in Connecticut. Kelly Williams Bowler, 3 years for using the wrong address to send her daughters to a better school in Ohio. Brett Favre, no charges for stealing $5 million to build a gym at his daughter's former school, her alma mater. I mean, this is the perfect, comparison for people to see into how this shit is backwards as fuck. And, look, we've been talking about it till we're blue in the face. I really want them to arrest this motherfucker. He needs to go to jail for this shit. He just needs to go to jail. I mean, and if it ain't gonna be the state of Mississippi who does it, then the federal government need to do it because it's their money.
It'll be a fine and restitution. That's all. A fine and restitution. That's it. And since none of it actually ever got stolen, I don't think it'll just be a big fine and he'll have to actually make the speeches. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But that's what'll happen.
All right, let's keep it going here. Real quick. I mean, this is obviously probably the biggest. This is probably the biggest hot topic right now in the NFL itself. But it's the issue of roughing the passer. And
that's 15 yards.
Oh shit! He's up 15 yards.
He got you. Got
him.
Got him.
But the NFL appears to be having a problem with calling its own rules or calling its own penalties in the correct manner. We've all seen this, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that is roughing the passer.
Yeah, he did bounce on him. He's a big man.
When I saw that flag thrown, I'm just sitting there like, they're not calling roughing the passer on that, are they? Because it's like they're going to use the body weight, and then they said it's roughing the passer. Like, are you kidding me?
Here's the thing. This should be an interception.
It should be a forced fumble.
Yeah,
fumble.
strip sack.
Forced fumble.
Strip
Yeah, strip sack. Strip sack. Possession changes right now because the quarterback doesn't have the ball anymore. The defensive tackle, Chris Jones, has the ball, possesses it, so it doesn't matter what happens to him.
Roughing the random guy.
It can't be roughing the passer because he ain't the passer no more. He's a defender. But that's the problem. I mean, everybody's seen the Tom Brady, the hit from Grady. What is his name?
Grady Jarrett.
Grady Jarrett. I always mix his name up. Everybody's seen that hit. Everybody's seen, the non-calls for guys like Tua Tagovailoa when he got concussed in 2 games in 5 days. None of those were called pass interference. But then also you have calls like this.
Let's see what happens.
Roughing the passer.
Mm-hmm.
That's roughing the passer. Didn't even
I guess
tackle.
because his helmet hit his
his
face.
face.
But that's inadvertent. What do you want?
He's not trying to do that. That was like,
and he has no control over
how's
that.
he supposed
He's
to
putting
do?
his face mask in Jared Goff's chest.
Mm-hmm.
And the
his
thing is,
helmet.
it's not even about the referees being incompetent. This is probably what they got their marching orders from the NFL this past week. And they probably just said, look, we need to emphasize hits to the head and hits to the quarterback. Because we are in deep shit because of shit that was our own damn fault. And if we don't do anything about it, we're going to look terrible. So that's why we're going to call these inane crap that is, basic tackling or just, playing the game. But now it's going to be called roughing the passer because they want a safe face.
Okay, so here is also to kind of add to this because obviously the latest one is the one with the Chiefs and the Raiders, and this was actually asked to one of the referees, I believe, of that game. There's a conversation about this. Let me pull it up real quick. Boom, 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 boom. There's a conversation about this, and I'll read it out as much as I can. I don't think that's going to be big enough for people to necessarily see, but it says, pool reporter Adam Tetcher interview with referee Carl Sheffer's Las Vegas Raiders at Kansas City Chiefs. Can you explain why the play of Chris Jones sacking Derek Carr was called roughing the passer? Sheffer says the quarterback is in the pocket and he's in a passing posture. He gets full protection of all the aspects of what we give the quarterback in a passing posture. That's a lie because we've all seen quarterbacks, whether there are, and it has more to do with the player's personal reputation and also the how big of a team you're on. Then that kind of dictates where your protections are when it comes to quarterbacks getting hit. Because I'll tell you what, I don't be protecting a lot of quarterbacks like that. I don't see that happening for a lot of guys. But I digress. It says here. So when he was tackled, my ruling was the defender landed on him with full body weight. The quarterback is protected from being tackled with full body weight, which means he's protected from being tackled.
Yeah.
Period.
They got paranoid because Aaron Rodgers got injured by Anthony Barr, and they've been dealing with that ever since, and it's annoying.
My ruling was roughing the passer for that reason. Question: the fact the ball came out before the quarterback landed on the ground and the player landed on the quarterback, does that negate the penalty at all? Sheffer says no, because he still gets passing protection until he can defend himself. So with him being in a passing posture and actually attempting to make a pass, he's going to get full protection until the time when he actually can protect himself. That's such a cop-out.
Well, he's getting his
what if he never had the ball? Can I just act like I'm throwing a pass and no one can do it?
Yeah, and then draw.
Well, I can tell you one thing.
Or slip out of my hand.
If you body the quarterback after he throws a pick, you're getting penalized for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not consistent. Because if you block him into the ground after he throws an interception, chances are they're going to throw a flag on you for that. We've seen that happen.
Yeah, it used to be open season on a quarterback after a pick.
Yeah. I mean, what's his name? Wilson got lit up. Russell Wilson got lit up on that pick, and they thought he had a concussion in that Colts game, and he stayed in the game.
And you know he had a concussion. If you think he got a concussion, he's got a concussion.
Oh yeah, get touched is probably a concussion
for real.
Yeah. But still, it's not roughing though. It's not roughing.
Okay, it says the fact that the ball came out and was subsequently recovered by the defense is not relevant as far as the protection of the quarterback gets. Which I mean, that just doesn't square with how everything else is handled on the field. It doesn't square with that. It says her question. So nothing changes as far as the rule when he loses the ball. Sheffer says, just as if he had thrown the ball, he still gets protection. It's the same here. It's just a loose ball of another sort. But he would still get protection that is afforded to players in a passing posture. That extends after he no longer is in control of the ball. Whoa. So they're saying even if he threw the ball, he's still protected after he throws it. Which I don't get that.
Still late hits.
Yeah, there are late hits, but like,
yes.
I don't.
I mean, it's a different penalty, but
I'm not trying to figure out.
Says your question: a replay review in the situation would have been useless because of what you're telling me now. Even though he lost the ball, it's still roughing the passer. Sheffers, correct. Question: was New York involved in this decision? Sheffers, New York was not involved in this decision. Of course, okay.
Just covering his losses.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, this look, I'm an offensive player, and I've seen quarterbacks get hit to different degrees, and I've seen quarterbacks get gangbanged by defenders.
Gangbanged.
And no flag comes out.
Kenny Pickett got killed this past week. What do you expect?
I've seen it, bro. I mean, I'll never forget. We were playing against Houston. This is when they had Connor Barwin and J.J. Watt, and I believe that was their rookie years. And, Connor Barwin was the guy everybody thought was going to be the beast because he came out his rookie year and had like 8 sacks off the rip. And these dudes, I'm blocking my guy. It wasn't me. I'm blocking my guy. And when you're blocking your guy long enough to where like, hey, the ball should be gone. So you just take a look back and you got your guy held down. I take a look back. This is like midway through the game. And Dave Garrard was our quarterback at the time. So I mean, this was actually a pretty good season we were having. And I'm blocking this dude, and I look back and I just see Connor Barwin, J.J. Watt, D'Amico Ryan. These cats are just like, and all I see is Dave Garrard's legs sticking out. And he's just like, ooh.
Wow.
And the ball's been thrown. And they just like, they like dogpiled this cat. And this is in the age of protecting the quarterback. No flags. I've seen Blaine Gabbert get blasted. No flag. So it's not a consistent, as far as I'm concerned, and just seeing it, now, years later even, it's kind of the same. Like, they only pick and choose who they want to protect.
Well,
they don't protect. Go ahead.
I mean, the rules are pretty much based on judgment calls. That's the big problem.
It's all judgment
it's
calls.
No consistency. You're going to get inconsistency.
But like that, there's not a consistent pattern.
Try your absolute hardest to be named Tom Brady.
How about Tom Brady?
And then you got the Tom Brady one, which the Tom Brady one was so egregious. It was like, come on, dude. Like, that's the same tackle that they did to Tua that knocked him unconscious and was a violent slinging to the ground. No flag. No flag.
The same tackle happened this past Monday to Mahomes.
Yeah, but the same. Mahomes
boom, it happened to Mahomes. Boom. Yep. They look at a guy like Mahomes and they say, "Oh, he can take those kind of hits."
Oh, he's tough.
That's what they
do. That's such bullshit. Remember, it happened to Cam.
Cam
Newton was getting.
You tough, right? Yeah.
Cam Newton was getting concussed every week.
It's like the Shaq rules.
You're good. Yeah.
Like Shaq would get killed in the paint. Like, he's too big. You can't call a foul every time.
I mean, but it's true though. Like Cam Newton was getting fucked up. I remember they used to. I mean, bro, the way that Cam Newton would get hit, it's like he was a running back in the backfield.
That's how his career ended up getting ruined because, like
his shoulder.
Vince Williams ended up landing on his shoulder, full body weight.
Yeah,
I mean, this was. I think it was before the injury or the body weight issue, but still.
Right. Yeah, I believe so. The body weight thing is relatively recent.
I think it was
that one is the this year thing. That's like in the last 2 years. But this, I think that these refs really look at it and they say, okay, well, this guy's a big guy. He can take a shot. It's not going to feel the same. Yeah, it does feel the same. It hurts just like it hurts anyone else.
Yeah.
And he's probably got more open space to hit than the smaller guys, which means he's getting bigger shots. And they just don't protect. They never protected him. They never protected him. And it ended his career. It made his career that much shorter, right? I mean, come on.
So now we're going to install a scale into the quarterback's padding to determine how much weight falls on them.
Telemetry.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, look,
I was only 300 pounds on a 340 pound guy.
I was pretty impressed with Grady Barrett that cat was able to actually keep himself from like landing on Brady. He actually did a good job of going into a barrel roll when he slung him instead of just, picking him up off the ground and just slamming him down, which happens to quarterbacks. He literally like used his own athleticism and like rolled into a softer landing for him where Brady's head didn't even touch the ground.
A lot of cats are making a similar tackle right there and falling into the guy's ankles. We're seeing a lot of ankle snap this year, right?
Yeah.
From the same kind of tackle, but instead of like rolling around, like whipping around the guy's body, you kind of just drop your weight. And the guy's foot's right there, and then he's still twisting. And that next thing you know, he's got a fucking shattered fibia or whatever. Tibia.
I mean, I will give these guys credit.
Really catch-22.
I could not imagine having to make that adjustment mid-tackle all the time. Like, you can't land on the dude. I mean, part of the strategy used to be land on that motherfucker.
Take him out. Yeah.
Get him out.
So now I got to lay him down and like turn on some Teddy Pendergrass, turn off the lights, and caress him.
You got to caress him down to the ground.
Put on some Barry White.
Yeah, like, what are we doing here?
It's gonna be all right, baby. It's gonna be all right.
Got to give him a little happy ending. Maybe if he wants a finger in the butt, put a finger in the butt,
Watson.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to put a finger in the butt. He wants it. That's roughing the passer.
Deshaun's all about that action.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, fingers up the butt.
Oh,
yes.
Hey, he's back at the facility this week.
Yes.
Yeah. Deshaun said that like, man, I want to get sacked every time.
He's like, hey, man, you think you can move your hand up a little bit next time you tackle me?
He is back. He's only got 6 more weeks of
Yeah, oh my gosh. In 6 weeks, Deshaun Watson is gonna be on a football field
against Houston.
Yeah.
Whew, crazy.
That's gonna be fun.
Let's move into our picks, folks. It's time to get into it. Let's take a look here at last week's, at least for me, last week's predictions.
Oh God.
It's not I got nine of the 16 games right. I got LA.
How'd y'all do?
I got 9.
Let me count this up real quick.
I think I'd roughly the same picks Uche had.
Yeah.
Because I got
10
of them. What's up?
Oh no, you poor thing.
I got 10 as well.
All right, Justin and
I got 10.
I
started off kind of shaky though.
I did how you start really shaky. What's funny is I picked Washington in our pool, but I bet Tennessee. I won lots of money. I won lots.
All right, so week 6 in the NFL, October 13th to 17th. First game up.
Ooh,
2 weeks ago, I would have said Duval. Jags going into Indianapolis to face the Colts.
Someone's got to win.
I mean, Indy is not good, though.
In theory.
They were terrible against Denver.
I mean, Denver's defense is still pretty nice.
Did you see the Jaguars blow it against
I did not see that.
I did, but I was going to ask you, what happened there?
Because they never showed up.
Honestly,
they never showed up on red zone. So I couldn't see
the red zone. Yeah, the red zone performance was dog shit.
Oh no, I'm saying like on the NFL red zone, they never showed up, so I couldn't watch it.
Well, look, we had a crucial play in the red zone. We had a crucial play in the red zone that ended up being an interception. I've never been a fan of running rollouts inside the 10-yard line. I think that's kind of, unless you're going to roll out and run the quarterback, because a lot of times quarterback has to throw the ball across his body, or he has to fit the ball in a very small window. Because with rollouts, the route tree changes. Yeah. Everybody's coming towards you. And hey, Trevor Lawrence made a bad throw. Trevor Lawrence, the last 2 weeks, he's been, I don't want to say he's regressed, because I think that part of it is their game plan is not, they don't run the ball enough. I mean, Travis Etienne had like 7 carries for like 70 yards.
Damn.
They don't run the ball enough. If for a team that has some very talented running backs, to only run the ball 13 times is goddamn ridiculous.
Wow.
Peculiar.
And that has more to do with why the Jaguars are struggling, in my opinion, because you're putting 70% of your offense into passing the ball with the quarterback who is talented, but at the same time, you don't necessarily have a great receiving core. You have an average, at best, slightly above average receiving core. And that's because you have Christian Kirk, and he is really a slot. He's not a number one. He's a slot wideout who plays his best football when you have a one that has to be doubled.
He's never had to be a number one. He's been a number 2 in Arizona. He was a number 3 last year, technically.
CD Lamb.
CD
exactly.
Nuts.
So if you don't have a number 1 receiver who's a true number 1 that a defense respects as a number 1, then they can the coverage, the versatility in their coverages can cause real problems for a quarterback who has to read coverages more times maybe than he should, and that to me is an indicator that not necessarily a Doug Peterson problem, but a coordination problem and a game planning problem that they haven't actually played to the strengths of the team, which Jacksonville, for some reason, the strength of Jacksonville
because they're still taking
running game.
They're still tanking. That's why they want another. They want offense. They want a left tackle next year. Like, okay, now we'll start winning.
And then on top of that, like, the O-line has actually played pretty well this year. I've looked at their film. They've actually played pretty well. I still believe Cam Robinson is a fucking bum. And they got him out there. And he is the one who was initially giving up pressure on Trevor Lawrence when there is pressure. Because he is a 1-2-3 tackle. He is a kick step, and I'm going to hit you, and then I'm not even going to try and finish on the play. I'm going to stand there and watch you do what you do from there. Like, I've watched numerous plays where this guy is just, he gets one pass set punch on the guy and he stops. And I'm like, bruh, just because he's not, at the quarterback don't mean you need to let him chase the play down from the backside.
Do you think?
Because that's what he's doing.
He's just lazy, or does he?
It's lazy. It's lazy.
Tired,
yes, it's lazy. It's lazy. You can tell lazy, because lazy is when they stand up straight and they just watch it. He don't chase the ball down the field or nothing. That means he's lazy. So for me, he's the problem. He's a problem on the O-line that they're gonna have to address sooner rather than later. But back to this game, the Jags, and I know this being a former Jag, we have a hard time winning in Indianapolis. Something about Indianapolis is just hard for Jacksonville to win there. Just like the Colts can't win in Jacksonville. We're not as bad as that, but we have problems. We're like 1 for every 3 in Indianapolis. So With all that being said, I'm still picking the motherfucking Jaguars. but I'm not. This is not a. I'm not fully confident that they're going to win this game. I'm not fully confident, but I will pick them. All right, you guys can let layers out.
All right, the Colts were so bad. They did not deserve to win against Denver.
The Broncos,
yeah. Jags had an anomaly
mess
against the Texans. Like I think this is the year that they go in to Indy and actually get it done. So I'm picking the Jags.
Thank you, guys.
Like, I don't think Indy's even that good of a team. Their only 2 wins are because their opponent self-destructed. There's nothing that Indy does that gives me confidence in anything they do. Indy's offensive line has imploded. Matt Ryan, there goes through stages where he looks like either he's cooked or he's getting destroyed by the line in front of him. I mean, at this point, they might be signing you 2 guys to play line. It's getting rough. I would say the wide receiving core is like, I mean, Pittman's all right. T.Y. Hilton's unfortunately on the decline.
Is Jonathan Taylor still out?
I'm not sure. But I mean, they were. I mean, Nyheim Hines, he might be out still. Because
God, he got smashed.
That was balanced. I'm like, he's done for the day.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Jacksonville as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville.
Oh, consensus. Hell yeah. There we go.
Sorry, Matt, if you ever see this. It's not you. It's not you.
Hey, Matt Ryan has a clear defense in this that O-line has been getting his ass murdered.
His line is
pulled that win out against Denver.
And he pulled out a win still. I mean, so I can't even mad at Matt Ryan.
Russell Wilson did gift a few interceptions that
he
were
did.
pretty much to no one.
Put it right in their lap.
It's like, I'm going to throw it right to Stephon Gilmore and help him earn his paycheck today.
Twice.
Russell Wilson is probably the most hated quarterback in the NFL right now.
How, though? Like,
he went from like the
Super Bowl. He's
the media
It's because of the fact that his peers don't believe him to be genuine. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you're right.
I mean, we're football players. We don't really like do-gooders.
Yeah.
We don't like guys who project that they're do-gooders. We're like, bitch,
you don't like them try-hards. Try-hards ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
New England at Cleveland. Cleveland, didn't they just lose last week?
Yeah, they did. They self-destructed again. They had a chance to win it because Brandon Staley decided it was a genius idea to go for it on a 4th and 2 at his own 45, and Cleveland missed the field goal to win.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean that's
it was an ugly game.
That's a really
well. I mean, you're playing Jacoby Brissett. Just punt. He's not going 50, 60 yards in a minute with no timeouts.
That's crazy, dude.
Well,
like, why would you go for it on 4th down on your side of the field? That's just not a smart thing to do, period.
Ever,
that's a field. That's like you literally have flipped the field for your defense. Yeah. You lose on that, period.
Exactly. Now, I mean, if it were on their 40 or 35, I can see the logic of going
maybe.
for it. But because you're still going to be only a touchdown would still win them the game because you're only up by 2. But still, I like at your own 45 with Jacoby Brissett.
They just got to keep the ship afloat for 5 more weeks.
Yeah.
5 more weeks, baby. It's gonna be the longest 5 weeks of their fucking life. So do we put a whole bunch of weight into what New England did last week in that blowout win, that shutout? How much weight do we put into that?
I did like what I was seeing out of Detroit before that too, which makes it tough because I mean I want to.
Because Detroit, I couldn't believe it
on the come up, but I
couldn't
think Mac
believe
Jones
it.
is going to go this week. I believe, or is Zappy still the guy?
I don't know.
I didn't see a practice report today, but of course, the New England practice report. What the fuck is that going to tell me?
Yeah, it says questionable.
All 53 are questionable.
Yeah, like Mac Jones could be on life support and he'd still be forced out onto a practice field. Let's be real.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think this game. I mean, if you look at the rest of New England's season outside of that Detroit game, they haven't looked like a team that that you would expect to be able to go.
Don't look like much, even when he's in there.
Yeah, they haven't looked like a team that I would pick over the Browns in a situation like this. So, not knowing a ton about what that team looks like outside of just the basic, basic what I see, I'm going with Cleveland on this one.
This needs to be
the home field.
Kareem Hunt just run a train.
Yeah, this has to be a running game, a running game plan for Cleveland. I mean, I would have thought that the last thing you want to do is put the game in Jacoby Brissett's hands. So why don't you use these two beastly running backs you got and just have them just 1-2 punch in most of the football scenarios during the game than have it, on Jacoby Brissett's shoulders. I mean, that dude shouldn't be throwing no pass more than 12 yards down the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. Don't take no shots
across your body. Don't throw across your body in the end zone. That's all I'm going to say.
We're not rolling you out. You're not throwing on a roll. You are
they did roll him out though.
Yeah, right.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He had a couple where he escaped the pocket and made some plays downfield.
Yeah.
Damn, he thinks he's 22 again.
He has some flashes of brilliance, and then it's just like you realize, oh yeah, he's Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, he is a streaky quarterback. That is what streaky quarterbacks do. They will trick you into thinking they're going to be beasts. Like, oh man, look at that throw. All right, let's call a play action, 9. Play action 9 route.
He's a big guy. You would imagine he could probably throw it forever.
All right, I'm going with Cleveland here. Chat, if put in the chat who you think wins these games. I think that's a good way to kind of keep you guys involved with us on this, because we are, as you can see, we're like 50-50 on this shit. So we're not, we're no experts necessarily, but we trying.
Hey.
But so I guess
this is the NFL. This ain't college. Most of these games are going to be a coin toss.
The NFL has pretty much been a crapshoot. So it's educated guesses. You can use every sort of logic you can. Nothing's going to make sense.
They make you look like a fool.
Yes. Nothing's going to make your shit foolproof because if the NFL it will guarantee you one thing, it will guarantee you that a sorry ass team will fuck around and have the best game of their career against the best team.
Always, especially when you lay money on the other team.
God, all bets are off then.
Yeah,
unless you get your DeLorean,
football guys are like
in the future. Then you got a chance.
All right. So
I'm gonna go. This one's tough. I want Cleveland. I want Cleveland.
I like the home. I feel like home field advantage has to do something in this game.
I just think they'll be able to pound the Patriots into submission with that two-headed monster in the backfield.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with what.
But they should have been doing it all fucking year, anyways.
What New England did in Detroit, I think Cleveland is going to bounce back, and the Patriots return to.
Yeah, their offense is shit in New England.
Yeah, their offense is just weird.
Yeah, it is. But I'm going to pick New England only for one reason, because Bill Belichick always owns Cleveland. It does not matter where or how. Bill Belichick will always beat them. Yeah, they fired him. He will destroy that franchise no matter what. And Ramondre Stevenson had a really good week. The Browns' run defense got gashed by Austin Eckler last week. I don't really trust Cleveland. I don't really trust Stefanski. So I'm sorry, I'm picking New England here. It's going to be like a last-minute heartbreaker like it usually has been in Cleveland.
Okay. Let's keep moving here. Next game up. This is the rematch.
Oh, yeah.
AFC Championship rematch. AFC Divisional, which everyone kind of felt like it was the AFC Championship game last year. We got Buffalo going into Kansas City. This is probably the game of the week. Very hard. Well, this or Dallas in Philly.
Cowboys. Come on now.
But
America.
Honestly, I mean,
America.
I've been on the Josh Allen, train since he was a rookie. But I've also been on the Patrick Mahomes train since he was a rookie too. So I feel like these guys are going to have battles like this for the rest of their careers. Like, it's going to be them going against each other, trying to, wrestle control of the AFC. In this regard, though, I feel like these boys, I feel like Kansas City is a too hard a team to just, I don't think that they can't beat Kansas City, but I just feel like
Not today.
This team finds a way, and it don't matter how you cut it. I mean, look at Travis Kelce.
Buffalo's got 2 safeties out of them, right?
And they're hurting on defense a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, Boyer's back. Hyde's out. Phillips
out for
is
the
still
year.
kind of banged up.
That back end's a little banged up. And God dang, Travis Kelce. What the fuck was
Travis
he on
Kelce
Monday
is
night?
just savage.
It's a beast.
Guy had 25 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's called a touchdown vulture right there.
Right.
For your fantasy.
It was like the fullback in Varsity Blues. Said I had 120 yards. The fucking fullback gets all the touchdowns.
Yeah, Micah Hyde's done. They got a lot of questionable. Yeah, they got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questionable players on defense. Hamstring. And then the other ones they're not saying, but
I mean, hydrate guys.
they've got some injuries.
Hydrate.
Out here pulling hamstrings. You're professional athletes, man. Come on.
Kansas City is strong, man. I mean, can't say enough about how that franchise has held it together, even losing, with losing Tyreek Hill, which a lot of people thought, and they have to a certain extent, they've kind of lost that deep ball, just immediate deep ball threat, but it doesn't matter. Their tight end is just as dangerous, and the quarterback is smart. They've
adapted
quarterback.
a short mid-range game, and I mean, MVS and Juju have filled in nicely in that role.
Yeah. I think that it'll be a competitive game, but I think it's Kansas City.
Yeah.
I think are we consensus on that?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm Bills. I'm picking the Bills. Sorry.
I'm saying Bills too. It's going to be, in the ultimate irony, a long drive with 13 seconds left to kick a game-winning goal.
All right, so we half and half on that one.
Especially if Buffalo refuses to run the ball with anybody but Josh Allen. At some point, I don't wish injury on anybody.
I see that coming. I see that slow-moving crash, train wreck coming. They cannot rely on their quarterback being the hammer when they want to run the ball. I think that's a very bad decision. He's a big dude now. He can take shots. He can take shots, but he's not bigger than Cam Newton was. And
he's Cam without the
way to
athleticism.
break him.
I mean, if he goes into his late 20s, he's playing like this, he's going to get broken down. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's going to get broke. They're going to break him. And it usually, when it's coming, it usually starts with that high ankle sprain. That's what the first injury is. Either high ankle sprain / broken ankle. And then you see that quarterback begin to slowly stop running because he knows he don't want no more of that smoke.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep moving on here. Next game up. Broncos country.
Broncos corny.
Broncos at the Chargers playing Los Angeles. I mean, I'm going with these Chargers. These cats ain't shit. They don't know what they're doing right now.
I'm tired of their shenanigans. Watching games.
And I'm not even going to look, Russell Wilson is playing like shit, but Russell Wilson is also playing for a offensive guru whose game plan doesn't seem to really it's not up to scratch of a professional football team because they can't seem to do shit all game long. How many touchdowns have they scored this year? 2, 3, maybe at the most.
Garbage.
4.
Garbage offensively.
We're 6 weeks into the season. 6 weeks into the season, and y'all haven't even cracked 5 touchdowns. Y'all are last in the NFL, I believe, in the red zone.
Yeah, they're awful. Most of their half their touchdowns have been before 20 yards, 30-yard passes.
So it's this is a fucking team that doesn't have any real. They don't have anything to go off of, and there ain't no way they're going into Los Angeles.
It's defense, just defense.
They just have a defense that keeps them in it. But hey, you're going up against a quarterback.
Umbilitis. I mean,
Fumbleitis.
Hey, you know what?
God.
Seattle will take
Oh,
it. Seattle is laughing to the bank because Geno Smith is doing infinitely better than Russell Wilson, and they get a first-round pick that might be better than theirs.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Seattle wins that one. That was that's a
I'm
good
surprised by
right
that.
there.
I'm surprised by that.
I was surprised by it too. I honestly and truthfully believe these Broncos might fuck around and be contenders for the Super Bowl this year.
I had them winning the division.
Yeah,
because of Wilson. Like quarterback was their big issue last year.
Yeah, that seemed to be all that they were missing. And I mean, now you just see that,
you have the same problem: quarterback and play call.
Yeah. Somebody made a deal with the devil. Now they got to pay him.
Hey, can you give some of that?
Can
money
we get
back?
a Super Bowl?
Well,
sure. Just give me. You're just gonna have to give us 15 years of irrelevance after that. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
We got to find something where we don't have to pay this guy.
All right, so I think
looking for a fucking loophole right now.
We're consensus on Chargers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think
Yeah. Chargers winning this shit.
All right, next game. And who would have thought this would be a game where there could be some doubt as to who might win this? Jets at Green Bay. Now, last week, who the fuck did they play last week that they lost to?
The Giants.
Green
The
Bay.
Giants. The
right?
G-Men.
Hey,
Football
what I tell you though?
Yeah. I
did call that.
wasn't an optimist.
Hey, man, and I mean, real talk. NFC East is looking like the best division in football.
Yeah.
Funny you go
It is.
from tank
one
division
out of four
to
teams is
the best division
tired.
in football in 2 years. That's not bad.
Yeah. 1 out of 4 teams is garbage. The
Now,
Commanders.
Washington's always garbage. Nobody.
They can't all be. Yeah, they can't all be great.
Yeah. Can't all be good.
But also, I mean, this is still a question mark here to me, though, is that their division record is still 0-1, which means they've been played all these games non-division, which means they don't really matter that much, but their record looks good.
They look iffy, though. That's the problem.
They lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But they did go into Green Bay and beat Green Bay, which I picked them to, but I would not have been surprised if they'd have got blown out by 3 or 4 scores.
I mean, it was in London, but still, I mean.
It was in technically, yeah.
Is there an international game this week?
No, that's it. The series is done.
Really?
I think.
It's all
there's one in Germany.
Yeah, there's one in Germany.
Yeah, Mexico City.
Ooh.
Yeah,
hasn't
Man,
already
why don't
happened.
they just play in Australia while they're at it? Shit. Fuck that shit. Man.
Now, at this rate, they'll get the Chinese money like the NBA is. They'll play in Shanghai and Beijing.
Yeah.
Ni hao.
All right. So Jets at Green Bay at Lambeau. The Jets, they're 3-2.
Hey, and they're keeping receipts.
And they're 1-0 in the division. They got a better division record than the Buffalo Bills got.
Damn.
I mean, when you play Skylar Thompson, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they did play against the third quarterback in Miami. Miami, how foolish do you look now? Because you actually have cost yourself really 2 games from this Tua situation. If they would have just, they would
Sat them down from the jump.
Sat him down from the jump. They'd probably he would have played last week, probably. And boom, you're good. You're back in the driver's seat.
I think he practiced today.
Yes, he did. But he's a long way away.
If he practiced, then he's out of the protocol. They won't practice you unless you're out of the protocol.
Really?
Yeah.
But he's been ruled out for the week, though.
Oh, he's ruled out?
He's got a ways to go.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't be trying to play anytime
in the near future.
I wouldn't play him until at least November. Maybe even longer.
I mean, I honestly felt like when it happened,
shut him down.
Considering it, 3 concussions in a season, bro, that's a career ender.
Yeah.
So 2 concussions in 5 days, you're closer to being career ended than it would have been if you had 2 concussions in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was cats back in the day getting 2 concussions in the game.
Yeah. There was one.
There was cats back in the day getting knocked out multiple times during the game. Like, God,
I remember one time, and this probably explains a lot. Brett Favre got knocked the fuck out, came back in the game, threw a touchdown, and then was like, "Okay, I can't play anymore."
Yeah,
like,
I'm done.
Yeah, but like the pure absurdity that he even got back in the game after getting knocked unconscious.
Right.
That is crazy.
It is back in the day. They just hit you with the salt tabs or the ammonia.
That's
Smelling salt. Yeah.
Smelling salt.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Hey,
You should
before the game, crack one of them bags open. Just.
Yeah, that shit have you feeling like you're 10 foot tall.
For real. You just get amped up off that. But I don't know. I really don't know which way to go on this game. I mean, I feel like Green Bay should win this at home, but
I mean, I'm still going Green Bay. They still have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean,
Better shot than
they
that.
had a chance to beat the Giants. They should have beat the Giants. They had a 17-point lead at one point.
So what does that tell you then? If they had a 17-point lead and couldn't beat the Giants?
No, what it tells you is their offensive game plan's a mess. They're reminding me a lot of the 2017 Steelers. They're playing down to competition. They get overconfident. They get cocky. They don't change their game plans, and it's going to cost them come January. They're going to get blown out embarrassingly at Lambeau Field again because, quite frankly, they're not learning from their mistakes.
Where could that cockiness come from?
I saw it from New England, and I saw it against the Giants. And the Giants saw it. They saw that weakness, and they pounced. You have two good running backs. You invested a shitload of money in Aaron Jones. You invested a top draft pick in A.J. Dillon, which I don't even know if you use most of the time. Run the ball. That's all you got to do.
That's simple. It's such a simple answer to a lot of these teams' problems.
I mean, 90% of the questions in football
the problem is most
would be
people
solved by running the
overthink
ball. Just run the ball. It's so easy.
You have Aaron Rodgers. Everyone's assuming you're going to pass.
But the thing is that with these RPOs, the quarterback just overthinks it. He sees at the line, he sees a mismatch or an unbalanced defense, and that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they're going to do. And he gets scared and he audibles out of the run, like when he should just stick to the freaking run.
Aaron technically calls his own plays, I think.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I think they give him a couple to choose from, and he goes up to the line and does his thing. But I mean, quarterbacks used to do that all the time.
Yeah, but
like Jim Kelly and Trautman, that era, like after that,
those guys had good receivers.
Wow.
Yeah.
He still thinks
he doesn't have
Devonte
good
Adams.
receivers.
Yeah, these guys they're not even on the same page. I'm not even sure they know all the fucking plays.
And that's where the problem comes into play in a game like this, where it's a trap game. It is a trap game. I mean, Green Bay has to feel like this is going to be their get right week, because regardless of the fact that they won last week, it's still the Jets. And I'm picking Green Bay because, hey, it is still the Jets. But
I mean, I don't believe in the motherfucker just yet.
I feel like the run game should be featured heavily for Green Bay. Minimize. They don't only pass when you really need to, because if you give these cats too many chances to fuck around and tip balls in the air, or for Green Bay, for their receivers to fuck around and not catch balls, which usually a receiver who doesn't catch a ball, if it gets tipped upwards, that's going to be intercepted. This seems to be a problem that they are going to have to address in the offseason, but they don't have receivers like that right now. And, their running game should carry the day. That's what I think, but we'll see.
Yeah. 3 things going to happen when you throw the ball. 2 of them are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 2 of them are bad. All right. So I think we're consensus on Green Bay should win this game. I don't think anybody's going with Jeff. All right. Next game up, we got Bengals at New Orleans.
I think Jameis Winston also practiced today.
I mean, honestly,
that matters.
I don't really know about this one.
Like it depends. Do you trust New Orleans' anemic offense or Taysom Hill to do anything, or do you trust Zach Taylor to ruin everything for Cincy again?
Yeah,
that's the question.
Taysom Hill's gonna have to do Taysom Hill things.
Playing quarterback.
It's like the mix role. He's in that super game.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been playing quarterback.
He's playing read option. He's just the wildcat guy.
That comes in for the wildcat shit.
That cat is wild, man.
Then like some H-back type.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I'm
going Cincy.
Yeah, I think I'm going Cincy.
Yeah,
too.
I'm going Cincy.
Cincy's more versatile than New Orleans is right now.
Yeah,
they need to get New Orleans. They need to get
New Orleans has lost me money all year. Fuck them Bama's. That's how I predict is based on how you affect my wallet.
Yeah.
That's a good way to think.
If you want to be down with the Saints, then fuck you too.
Yeah.
All right, next game up here. Baltimore at New York. Baltimore is, they're 3-2. They're solid. They got the lead in the division. They're game up. New York, they're tied for second. 4-1. Look, we know what to expect from Baltimore. We know how this situation is going to play out on their end. It's going to be 8 leading the way, doing really athletic, versatile shit. But at the end of the day, when you got to play football the whole game, I'll put my money on New York here at home with the running attack that they've built. With Saquon, Saquon leads the NFL in rushing. And, really, Saquon is leading this team. He's leading New York.
Yeah. So everyone else is a passenger with Saquon. And I am really happy that Saquon has managed to revive his form because he was a special talent coming out of Penn State. I thought the injuries would have ruined him.
Yeah. This cat I would dare say he's a generational running back kind of
I thought that out of college too.
Yeah, if he hadn't got hurt in those 2 years, he'd probably be one of the most productive running backs
players in the NFL.
His rookie year, he rushed for all those yards without an offensive line. He didn't have Andrew Thomas on the left side. So, he's been special for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just like, it's not – this isn't a roster that you look at and you say, "Oh man, they've got weapons everywhere." But when you know what your main weapon is, and you know how to
play to that strength,
and you play to it, you don't need to have a weapon at every position. You need to have guys who understand their roles and play their role.
Yep.
And this dude is carrying them, and he's carrying them he's got the legs to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that can get the ball 30 times a game, and he's not going to slow down.
Daniel Jones is a glorified running back, but he's a great safety valve for Saquon.
So here's the thing, and I'll be very honest. The only way that the Giants win this game is if Daniel Jones unleashes. If they unleash him, if he's got to throw the ball deep, he's got to keep 8 men out of the box, because that's what they're going to do. They're like, all right, these guys run it. He's got to throw the ball, and that's why I'm saying that
he's got to be a threat.
Keep him honest.
That's why I'm saying that
he don't even have to be like a big threat. We don't need 3 touchdowns from Daniel Jones. We need 1 touchdown, but 200+ yards passing.
First play of the game, I'm throwing it as far as I can.
1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown.
Yeah. You got to show he's got to give the idea of a threat, but that's just to get Saquon his yards. But in order to win, he's got to be good.
He's got to be a competent NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
He has to manage the game, and they have to believe that you could possibly hurt them with the pass.
Yeah, and maybe they've been waiting for this game or this situation to do that because they've been winning without having to do that. But I haven't seen him throw a deep ball yet this year. I haven't seen
one ball against Tennessee. Yeah. That one ball.
And that's also because his receivers are jack shit. Kenny.
Yeah, they're probably telling him. Go ahead.
No, they're putting no 9s out on the field. All the routes are crosses, hitches. Maybe a Z or 2, but
either you catch it or nobody catches it.
You would trust David Sill on a deep route? Come on.
Yeah. Well, that's also a product of the receivers are trash as well. So, but this is where they're going to have to be all right, somebody got to go deep. So, Slayton, somebody get down the field because
is Tony not playing this year?
Tony still has a hamstring injury, and a lot of people are giving him shit because he hasn't played in 5 weeks or whatever. He wants to be out there. You football player, you don't unless you're Albert.
Don't nobody not want to be out there.
Yeah, unless you're Albert Hainsworth, injuries should bother the fuck out of you.
Yeah, 99%
and part of it. Part of it is you want to be out there because you don't want your team, you don't want your peers to see you as, you don't want to be seen as somebody who's dodging the field. You don't want to be seen as somebody who can't stay healthy.
Right.
So you always want to be out there.
Yeah.
You know what, Martellus
availability.
Bennett talking shit about you on the Athlete podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a respect thing. Like, and I think Tony wants to be out there. He just is. Odell Beckham went through this. Odell Beckham didn't make his debut till 6-7 games, I think, of his rookie year because he had a similar injury. So
if you can't go, you can't go.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've all seen what happens when you play injured.
Don't
look at Baker. Look at
play like shit.
Look at Cam Newton. That's all I gotta say.
Don't play injured. You can play hurting, but don't play injured.
Well, certain positions.
Yeah. O-line, they're like,
I don't give a fuck.
Bitch, your ACL ain't gone yet. Keep going.
You don't need an ACL to play offensive line.
I mean, whatever. You're in a wheelchair, whatever. It's harder for people to move around you.
You just stand there and let people run into you. That's all you do.
All right, next game up here.
Do we get to talk about this?
Do we all have a?
I'm saying Ravens, dude.
Okay, Ravens.
I got Giants. I mean, I do not trust Baltimore. I don't like them. I think they're fraudulent.
Yeah, I think that Baltimore is a little bit fraudulent, and that's not on Lamar. That's on the team.
I mean, it's on Harbaugh's system. It's on being bailed out by high-end talent. It's their wins are based on Lamar and Justin Tucker. That's it.
Yeah. Next game, Tampa at Pittsburgh.
You don't even need to say this. This is Tampa. By
there will be blood in the grass in what is that field called again? Because it ain't
Acrisure Field. Acrisure
Field.
It's already claimed
Stadium. Acrisure Stadium.
Sorry. It's already claimed one life.
It's already got a wow.
Oh, that dude was probably drunk and tried to go down an escalator. But I mean, to be completely honest with you, I mean, that defense is a wreck. I mean, even Tom Brady always owns the Steelers, no matter where he is. This is going to be an easy Tampa win. Steelers go Tank Bull. Let's go.
My big question is, do the Steelers even score 10 points? Like, it's going to be ugly.
They get across the 50.
Well, I mean, with Pickett, there's a chance.
That Tampa Bay D is
a chance
point,
for what?
Though.
That you score.
Oh, you're saying there's a chance.
Yes, there's a chance. If we can score one touchdown, I will do the happy dance, and then we will lose by 30.
All right, so we all pretty much we're all seeing Pittsburgh take a big L.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty safe.
Yeah, fat L.
Let's next game up here. This is an interesting game because you have a 4-1 Minnesota going into Miami. Miami could I don't even know who's playing quarterback this week.
Skylar Thompson, 7th round pick.
You don't know him.
I saw Miami fans begging for this guy to get played after Tua went down. They were begging for Skylar Thompson.
It's a rookie. He still has to learn the system.
I'm like, what do you think this kid is going to go in there and do? Win? No, that's not going to happen.
Even Tom Brady needed a year of rest before he got started. Come on.
For real, this kid is going to get
so hard. It's so hard to come in and play. Like, how many plays do you know if you're if you're a rookie quarterback? Like,
you don't even get. I don't know if you even get scout team reps.
You get scout team reps, but the thing is, you're running a scout team.
You're being the other team. You're not running.
Yeah, you're running a card, so you're not even running your offense. So
and that's
not
and that's usually the backup quarterback. This guy was the third quarterback.
He was the third quarterback, which means he was probably playing wideout on the scout team.
Yeah, he's probably like the slot receiver on the scout team.
So it's like, this kid is not. He is being put in the worst situation you can be put in as a quarterback, as a young player in general. But you got to go play before you even know the whole playbook.
Right,
you don't know the whole playbook. Smart guy. He's gonna dumb down the playbook as much as humanly possible.
That's also scary, though.
They'll be carrying like 10 plays.
Right.
Look at the Cowboys right now. We're not doing shit on offense.
Yeah, but Cooper Rush has been there for 3 years now.
He's also 30 years old.
Yeah, he's 86.
And he knows the offense. He knows the offense.
Plus, he's a redhead, so all he does is study. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's true. He's gonna be the next head coach in 10
every
years.
redhead QB is smart, except for Mike Glennon.
They're not going to ask this kid to do too much. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying it's mostly going to be.
They're in a bad situation, and I don't think it gets better anytime soon until they either get Tua back or Bridgewater back. And really, I mean,
they need to go find a big quarterback. They got all these little guys.
They had Jacoby.
They did.
Yeah, they did. But I mean, again, like it's not even a matter of when you get Tua back. It's a matter of, do you even get a fully, like, do you get a Tua who is going to be like,
which Tua do you get?
Is he going to be susceptible? Like, because you're going to be, what are you going to be worried about when he comes back to play? The first hit he has to
every
take.
time he gets hit, I'm holding my breath.
Like, I mean, look what happened with Mason Rudolph in Pittsburgh. He was looking all right, and then he had that big concussion against Baltimore, and he was never the same after that. He got really skittish in the pocket.
Because once you get a concussion, unless you have enough time to heal fully, which there's no real, you can't know how long that'll take.
Yeah,
it could take a year.
Crosby took 2 years to recover from a concussion. Sidney Crosby in the NHL. It took him
it could take years. But once you get recovered, are you susceptible to the instant concussion now? Because there are players, and I know a few in the league, who once they got their first concussion, after that, if you touch them, they got a concussion. And it's
yeah. You're much more likely.
It's like breaking the seal when you got to pee.
Yep. Now you got to pee all the time.
You let that first one out. It's like, oh,
now that brain is leaking.
And they're not going to have Tua this week. There's a good chance they probably won't have him next week. They're probably going to have to give him a whole month at least before they can say, all right, let's try and get him back without it looking like we're like sending him out to die. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's going to feel like if he comes back in the next few weeks. It's going to take at least a month before you're like, okay, it's cool. But I just don't. I don't see them winning this game. I just don't see that happening. I'm going with Minnesota.
Yeah, it's not like they got like a great running game to lean on or anything. It's probably going to be a rough couple of weeks for them.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look, they have the best record in the division. Division opponents, they have the best. Well, they're 1-1, but that's the only thing that they can like lean on. That's their cushion for now, because it's going to be it's going to be a month. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not for fucking long. Hey, that's what the NFL stands for, baby.
That shit is draining quick. It's draining out quick. But I don't see them winning this game. Point blank.
It's Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's a weird team, but I think they still find a way to win.
Yeah, the Vikings are actually playing well now. I mean, Kirk Cousins, as long as it's not a primetime game, he good. So I think Minnesota got this.
Oh, is this Tank Bowl?
Oh, it's coming, baby.
Thursday night football. Have fun, Al Michaels.
Oh my gosh. He's got to deal with Herb Street.
I want my money back.
Yeah, Michaels has got to be hated because he has no chemistry with Herb Street.
Michaels, he's just there for the paycheck. Let's be real.
How does Amazon get all these dog shit games?
Yeah,
I mean, it's the hazing act of getting Thursday night football. I mean,
the NFL
you could probably argue that, Denver, Seattle, or Denver, Indianapolis would have been a decent game on paper in the beginning of the year, but Washington, Chicago, that's
going to be a shit show through and through.
Basically, just the game sitting with Roger a couple weeks ago. He's like, "Hey,
I could just see Goodell just drinking a beer with Bill Gates or somebody just getting fucked up, and he's like, and he's just laughing. He's like, and we sold it to Bezos for $13 billion, and they're just laughing.
Yeah, it's
they're like, bring another wench.
Guys, we're getting paid $80 million for this.
Give them all this fucking
keep sucking.
Thursday night games are the fucking worst, dude. I always hated Thursday night.
I don't get why they keep pushing Thursday night football.
It's like conference college football or whoever else plays on Thursday nights.
Wednesday night action. Come on. Let's talk about Wednesday night action.
Wednesday night action.
My apologies. It's Wednesday night. I think it's like Big Sky on Thursday nights or somebody.
Remember when COVID, when we got football on Wednesday?
Yep. Steelers Ravens. That was a shit.
Yeah, they
show.
moved it from
that was
Monday
so bad. That was such a bad game.
We got a Tuesday game too that same year.
We have
NFL don't give a shit.
Yeah, dude, we opened that Pandora's box. We will be getting Tuesday night football in the future.
They will wheel your ass out there. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
3 days rest, 4 days rest. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, they would love Tuesday night. Think about it. They would be like, all right, you play on Tuesday, but then you get a Monday night game next week. So you get 6 days rest. It's actually better. Trust us. And then now we have Tuesday night football.
I mean, if it comes after your bye, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
How they're going to do it is the Thursday night teams will get a chance to play Tuesday the week after. So they have like a 10-day rest. So it's like you get a bye week. There you go.
Dude, I'll fucking watch Tuesday night football.
At some point, though, you're playing on 4 days, which is never.
Bruh, you understand how your body feels on Thursday when you come out, when you like get to the stadium?
I'm barely ready by Saturday.
I remember one game, I was like, yo, my ankles hurt so bad. My fingers hurt. Like, man, why are we playing tonight?
Money, man.
I can't imagine that. Feeling that bad and then having to play a fucking football game. It's not it's like the equivalent of going like an MMA fight like every weekend, you know? Like,
I mean, you don't practice.
No,
you don't practice.
You have
all you do is you watch
classroom.
film.
Yeah.
You watch film on Monday. You do a walkthrough on Tuesday, and your no pads on Tuesday. Because you can't, like, you literally you can't wear nothing.
You can't even
get
put
hit by
them
a
on.
fucking bus.
Right.
And you're in jerseys and helmets, and you're barely even able to move at that. And then Wednesday, you're like in pregame mode. It's
like, hey, we gotta get it tomorrow. Gotta
get on the
plane. Fly around, be fresh. Like, what, bitch?
All right.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, so many players just get injured, dude.
Yeah,
Washington, Chicago.
We saw that in Denver too. Like Denver lost a lot of guys last week.
Oh yeah,
Garrett Bowles out for the season. Ronald Darby out for the season. Their long snapper, Bobin Moyer, I think his name is. He's out for a while. Josie Jewell's out week to week. Browning, like a lot of guys.
If the long snapper gets hurt, you shouldn't be out there.
He's the third long snapper that's been injured long term this year.
What?
Like you shouldn't be fucking out
like
there.
Like Cincy and Dallas's long snappers are out too.
You can't even rush the long. Oh well,
you can't even. You can't
rush the long snapper. But maybe
you can't hit him on punt. You can't hit him on punt. You can't hit him on.
Well, on punt, you got to cover on punt. So maybe they're getting hit trying to cover.
They're probably getting hit in coverage. Yeah,
or trying to break down and make a tackle against a fucking punt returner that's twice the athlete they are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So who we got on this? I mean, these are two garbage ass teams. One is a little bit more garbage than the other. I'm going. I don't know. They're so bad. It's hard to actually know who's going to.
Does Carson Wentz like just fold? He's like, "Fuck you, Ron Rivera."
I think that's the problem. It's like,
or does he like ball out and say, "Suck it"?
Yeah. I think
the Bears.
Both.
The Bears are so bad.
That's the problem. He does both all the time.
He did that last week.
Bad.
I am rooting for Bane to blow up the stadium, so we are relieved of this horror.
Here's the thing.
But
go ahead.
Go ahead. Man. You're good.
No. Here's the thing. Like the Bears, they're playing for teaching Justin Fields, right? They're playing for his sensitivity of the game. Carson Wentz still has a lot to prove, and that's why if you just keep it down to attitude, like the Bears are basically tanking, and Washington, Rivera's playing for his job, Wentz is playing for his life. So I think Washington wins this. If you're gonna beat a inferior team, this is the opportunity to do it.
I agree.
The Bears fucking suck. Bears suck.
Yeah, I think Washington gets it, and it's. I mean. Because you look, if you look at Chicago's games this season, the ones that they've won, it's not like they didn't win because they were good. They actually had a good game.
Well, one wasn't like a.
That Niner game was bullshit.
Well, that was
the Niner game
rain.
was garbage.
And then you played the Texans.
Yeah, then they played the Texans, and they damn near didn't win that. Yeah, fuck them. All right, next game up, San Fran at Atlanta. Man, I mean, actually, Atlanta has been showing some signs of life. I mean, they've been showing like they have some talent there. They haven't been able to close out because
you gotta
referees love throwing flags.
Well, you can't touch Tom Brady. We all know this.
But you can do that shit to Jimmy G.
But Jimmy G, you can hold his ass.
You can probably suplex him.
I don't care about Jimmy G. Fuck him.
But San Fran, I mean, I haven't really got to see a lot of San Fran this year, but they got a good defense. They got a good defense, and their offense, their run game is always.
I think Nick Bosa might be questionable.
Yeah,
Bosa tore his. Didn't he tear his fucking groin?
I don't think it was
Joey's out.
Oh,
but Nick, I think, is maybe day to day. I need to look that up actually.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about his brother in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, them cats the ball though. Them fucking steroided out motherfuckers.
Hey man, anytime you see a white boy DN balling, he on roids, okay?
Generally,
I mean,
come on, man. JJ Watt, come on. Come on. His heart stopped.
When a white dude got like the bendies and everything, like it's one thing to just be cock strong. Like, okay, that's normal.
Which, I mean, that shit's serious, and I'm not like making light of it completely, but the dude's heart fucking stopped. They had
and then he was like, I'm playing.
His heart.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you were technically dead.
Yeah.
For a moment. for a quick moment. But you know, I like San Fran in this game. I think San Fran's just until Atlanta actually has a defense that is vaunted, it's hard to like pick them in this kind of matchup.
Yeah, I think Atlanta deserves to win, but they won't. So
I like San Fran. I hate to say it, but Debo, goodness gracious. Yeah, that guy is a monster.
Debo is that dude is something else, dude. And you know what? And normally when a receiver begs, or when the receiver pulls diva status out for a contract, I'd be like, fuck that. But this cat, he really is about that work, and he brings something that no other receiver brings to the game. Physicality as a runner, like crazy. Anyways, let's keep going here. We got the most underachieving franchise in the NFL.
With the most
Arizona going to the most overachieving this year franchise in the NFL, Seahawks. Somebody
is D-Hop's back, right?
Not yet. I don't think.
No,
I think he's got one more week. One more week.
This is week 6.
It's week 6. Yeah,
that's my CT kicking in.
My CT up. Okay.
Give me something for my cataract.
Look, I think Seattle wins this because Arizona,
they're just in a free fall.
They're in a free fall. They're just not. This is not a good franchise.
They usually save that for the second half of the season. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, this is a continuation of the second half of last season.
Yeah, Kingsbury's seat might be getting a little toasty.
I'm telling you, that playoff game did something dirty to that franchise. It did something real dirty to them.
They were already falling apart to begin with, though.
Yeah, true. But that right there, it was like when you get exposed, like openly exposed on a complete level where everyone can just see your ass in the wind.
They're out there like Antonio Brown.
It's hard to even like walk outside where your homeboys are at anymore. Because every time you walk outside, they're gonna look at you like this clown. and that's how Arizona looks. They look like a team that they have talent, but it doesn't really mean anything because there's no guidance to it. There's no culture behind it. It's just there. And you have a guy who, you know, these guys always look at these new coaches and say, oh, they're so innovative. They're bringing innovation to football. But football is
why couldn't he innovate 10 wins in college?
Yeah.
Innovate that, bitch.
Innovate that. Yeah.
Football is a simple game. And if you can't get the simple things of this game down, then it doesn't matter what you do with all the other trickum-dickum shit you try to pull. And if not for Kyler Murray being able to stay in the pocket for 2 minutes, then they would be a one-win team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Seattle.
I'm going to Seattle too.
I got Seattle too.
I think Arizona because
hot.
Kyler Murray's going to bail him out again. That's the only reason.
I mean, the game has to be close for him to bail him out now.
Oh, don't worry. They'll find a way. They'll find a way.
All right.
They have to do something
Or he'll
miraculous.
spike the ball on a 3rd and 1 because,
Yeah, that's what they
I
do.
mean, come on, man. How do you spike the ball on 3rd and 1 in a 2-minute drill?
Makes no sense.
they thought it was a
Now
first down.
now you gotta have it 4th and 1. You know what I mean?
Situation.
No, they kicked a field goal with Matt Amendola, and he missed. So
Shocker.
I'm surprised somebody signed Matt Amendola to begin with.
All right, so we'll see how that one plays out. Next game up, Panthers, the newly fired or the fresh off the firing of Matt Rule Panthers going to LA to play the Rams. Rams aren't looking great, but they are going to win this one.
Yeah, you don't have to look great to beat these guys.
If they miss this one, you may as well fold the franchise.
Yeah, if they lose this game, if LA loses to the Panthers, then we know they're not going to make the playoffs.
Where should they move the franchise?
Yeah, this
Back
is
to
must
St.
win.
Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah, back to St. Louis. They have a stadium ready. Edward
Yes.
Jones Dome is ready for them.
And Georgia Frontier is going to rise from the dead to become your owner again. Congratulations.
All right, so last game, and probably, like I said earlier, this is probably the biggest game of the weekend, along with Kansas City and Buffalo.
A lot of
which
eyeballs going to be on that shit.
these
This is
two
Sunday
games
night,
are
right?
going to define. Yeah, that's got to be Sunday night. You know, Dallas. They don't play during the day.
Yeah. They don't do that shit.
They either play in Fox with Joe Buck or primetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you got a 5-0 Philadelphia hosting a 4-1 Cowboys. Cowboys have actually overachieved because I couldn't say that I predicted they would be 4-1 after losing Dak Prescott.
I wouldn't have predicted 4-1
here they
with
are.
Dak.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have predicted it with them, to be honest. But their defense has been playing extremely well. Now, again, there's always a caveat with the Cowboys and with the NFC East in general, and that they don't play very hard schedules. They play against a lot of teams with losing records, a lot of teams that don't make the playoffs. But these two teams are.
It's time for ready to say, I don't make the
these
schedule.
These are two playoff-worthy teams. These are two teams that were in the playoffs last season, as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, right? Philly was in the playoffs. Philly lost.
Philly, yeah, they made it in
Yeah.
like at the the end. Yeah.
Yeah, Philly made it in.
Backdoor
And Dallas
that
was
shit.
in. Yeah. I mean, I think this is a matchup that is. I mean, this is going to be a good game, but I feel like, all things considered, the advantage has to go to Philadelphia because on offense, they are more sound in what they do. I think the Cowboys are kind of still trying to find a number one receiver. CeeDee Lamb is.
I mean, they're going to Noah Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're throwing it to motherfuckers they just signed off the streets 2 days ago because CeeDee Lamb can't catch shit. I mean, CeeDee
Couldn't
Lamb
catch
has
COVID.
proven.
CD Lamb
You know
about
what
to
I
become
mean?
EF Lamb.
Yo, he is. Jerry Jones has put him on notice, basically, that if you don't produce this year, good luck to you, son.
Yeah.
And CeeDee Lamb has not been producing. I mean, I think he has 1 touchdown catch on the season. And I think that was just like, hey, he made a play, but
Super
it wasn't
Rush's
like
fault,
he was
man. Come on now.
yeah, he wasn't having a great game outside of that catch, but he's had a lot of drop passes.
A lot of drops.
A lot of drops.
That one hit him right in the face.
Yeah. So I think that will be a factor because both these teams on the offensive side, they rely on being able to pass the ball. And Dallas, I think historically, Dallas has been always had a playmaker at receiver that can do that. That can catch balls deep. That can be that deep
Balls
threat.
deep.
Yeah, no. Pause.
Balls deep.
But I think that Philly getting what's his name, AJ Brown in there at receiver from Tennessee has changed that entire offense. It's changed, the swagger of the offense. They got weapons, and they got a running back that's a damn good running back. And Jalen Hurts has turned out to be the best quarterback out of the class of Oklahoma / Alabama QBs that have come out of college.
One of them's about to be a backup or out of the league pretty soon.
He might be out of the league.
Yeah, he might be out of the league, and that's in his first contract. Can't even get to a second one.
Yeah, that's trash.
That's
That's bus territory right there.
Boy, that's trash.
He said that's trash.
Boy,
you garbage. That's hot garbage. Oh man. So I mean, honestly, even though I'm not, looking at this and trying to be fair, I think the matchup does go to Philly. I think Philly wins this one. And I think Philly's stake as the leading team. They got the best record in the NFL, but I don't think that anybody believes they're the best team, when you match them up against everybody, that they're the best team, but they have the best record. But this would mean that they are the best team in the NFC, and that is because they've taken on, they played two of the best teams out of the division already, outside of what, Minnesota?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that they've solidified themselves as the top AFC team for sure with the win against Dallas. I'm going with Philly. Who you guys going with?
I hear all these logical, rational arguments you're making. I'm not saying that they're incorrect, but they're going to lose.
Okay. Yeah,
so you're going with the emotion. Okay.
Yeah, he's going with his emotional pick.
Yep. Emotional damage.
Uche roll with the Jags. I'll roll the
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Tree, you go, and then I'll say I'll be the tiebreaker.
I think honestly, I would say Philadelphia is going to be your option, just because it's going to be a tough match, but once again, I think they're the stronger team. I think they're a stronger team defensively, and if they don't have Dak, I don't know if Cooper Rush can keep up. I like Cooper Rush, but they're not asking him to do too much.
Yeah,
is Tony Pollard going to be that good?
Yeah, if he needs to put up 28 or 31, will he be able to do it? I just need the defense to play out of their minds.
Here's the thing.
But I think this is the week that they're going to do it.
Everybody is saying Philadelphia, right? Or you're saying, they're the best team in the NFC. They're going to be 6-0, whatever. This is what we cannot have nice things, okay? The Cowboys are going to win. There's going to be all this shit getting talked online. Everyone's going to be like, we them boys. And people are just going to be talking shit. This is going to set up the failure later in the year, okay? This is the Cowboys Super Bowl for this year.
Building that bandwagon, baby.
Yep. I think Cooper Rush is going to be solid. He's not going to make any mistakes. And Hurts ain't faced a defense like that. Like, I'll tell you, man, fucking Cowboys can play defense. Like, that's if there's one thing that they can do. Micah Parsons is healthy and he's playing out of his mind. Trayvon Diggs is still trash, but he'll do what he has to do.
What a terrible play by him against
Cooper Kupp. We tried to undercut that.
Dude, why are you trying to undercut a drag route, bro? Like, that don't happen.
Yeah. So
undercut a slant, not a drag.
Logic says Eagles, Cowboys, because we can't have nice things. Cowboys win.
Imagine the bandwagon after this week.
Oh my God! Like, Scooter is going to be insufferable. The Twitter, you're not going to be able to log. If you thought that If you think that reading Twitter after, say, an election is like the worst thing on earth, the Cowboys beating the Eagles is going to be the worst thing.
Man.
Eagles beating the Cowboys will be bad too.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
fans don't give a fuck neither.
I feel like Eagles fans and Cowboys fans are always obnoxious no matter what the outcome, but Cowboys fans are more obnoxious when they win than when Eagles fans lose. Or
Cowboys might
Eagles
burn that
fans
motherfucker
win.
down if they lose.
Yeah. I mean, Giants fans, we've been pretty loud this last week. A lot, but it's more like a surprise, right? It's like, oh my gosh, we're 4-1.
Jets fans have been louder, to be honest.
Yeah, Eagles, like they're getting ready to talk shit. This is what happens when you make like that Super Bowl run. You talk a lot of shit, and that's why it's so much sweeter when it ends in, say, the wild card round. So much sweeter.
Because we know it will.
Shit. Yep.
Cowboys have not been past the wild card round since 1995.
I mean, we're due.
I've been saying this, I've been saying this for 3. It's so special for your team to win a championship in your lifetime. If they get more than one, that's gravy. Because look how many teams just go their whole fucking existence without, like the Lions fans. They're people who have been born, lived, had children,
and died,
children, and gotten buried, and not even seen their team win a fucking championship. Like,
not even seen them in the playoffs.
Not even seen them in a Super Bowl. Like, so every win,
like 5 teams have like half the Super Bowl wins, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's the
maybe
Cowboys,
the
Steelers,
the Jaguars
the Patriots,
lost the guard.
The Giants have 4. I think the Colts have 2 or 3. The Raiders have 3, and that's like it. Like it's all top heavy as a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
KC has 2.
Yeah, a couple.
There's only a couple teams that even have 2.
Yeah,
you know?
these things are hard to come by.
Yeah,
unless you got
Green Bay has 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
Green Bay.
Yeah,
And like 10 NFL championships before they call them Super Bowls.
Yeah. Seattle should have 2. Like they just fucked up. Like,
Atlanta should have 1.
Atlanta should have at least 1. Mm-hmm. But Detroit's never been to Cleveland's never been to they ain't been to a Super Bowl. Like how you like, do that to your fans?
Well,
like just be that trash.
Shit's hard, man.
It is, but
Houston, both iterations.
Denver has
if 3. Not run well either. It's gonna make things twice as hard on your players.
Miami ain't been to a Super Bowl since Dan Marino.
Whew.
That was just
in the 70s.
Yeah.
So there you have it, folks. Those are our picks. Now, before we finish this thing off, quick look at our fantasy football standings. And my God,
yeah.
How the Bishop Sycamore phonies have fallen.
Oh,
from the top to started from the bottom, and we still here. My God, 50 Shades of Grey of Trey, AC Reapers. These fuckers right here. These AC Reapers. Whoever's got them, fuck you.
Hey, the silly Nonnies coming up right there.
Silly
London,
man. So, I mean, how I only got 1 win? Well, I'll tell you how I only got 1 win, because my whole damn team was hurt. Look at all these. Look at this.
These bums.
Out. Questionable. They've been out.
Damn.
You got Justin Fields on your roster.
You're playing Jamal Agnew as your wideout. Jeez, you're
hey, time's tough here.
Decimated. You might as well put fucking Kenny
Daniel
Galladay.
Bellinger as your tight end.
I mean, it's a 20-person league.
Not bad.
So
He scored a rush.
Yeah,
someone
but
gets hurt. There is no waiver wire.
I mean, look at this shit. They don't even pass him the ball. Allen Robinson.
I haven't had a
Jamal
quarterback
Agnew.
finish a game in 3 weeks.
This is the only motherfucker who gives my team any kind of legitimacy whatsoever. And these cats are all hurt now. They can't even play. And ain't no way I'm putting him in. He ain't ever gonna see the field.
Sorry.
So I'm just over here just taking beatings because I got bums. All the good players are hurt and gone. I mean, these 2 right here alone would have my shit slapping.
Right. So now you got to go down to the waiver wire and get guys that are projected to
get
I had to
go pick up this guy at tight end, Bellinger.
Who is he?
Like, who the fuck is he? Exactly. I
He's
don't know
the
who
Giants'
he is.
best player. That's what he is. Daniel Bellinger, the rookie.
Dawson Knox, he's fucking done.
His dad
Mike
was
Thomas,
an NFL
done.
player. Mm-hmm.
I mean, damn. So that's why I'm getting my ass kicked.
It's hard out here.
Injuries, hard out here. But that is our look right there. We got the West. West actually has 2 more teams in the East, but it's all good. And soon I hope to have Dave Richard. I hope he's on there watching. Dave, ask on here and do a fantasy breakdown for us, my man.
I need help.
Yeah.
But that is going to be it for us here, folks. We do appreciate y'all for being in here once again. As we always say, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe if this is your first time on the live stream. And hit that bell notification so you get notified whenever we drop new content. But that is it for our Week 6 predictions on Lineman Life Live. I appreciate my panel here. JB, 5 points. Urinating Tree. You guys are the best. We are doing this because we love it.
Yeah.
And because we like to have. I love playing
horsepower.
Anyways, that's going to be it for us, folks. We hope you have a wonderful night. We will catch y'all on the next Lineman Life Live. Peace.
Peace.